What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas. Here we're doing a property maintenance job. Ripping out shrubs, doing spring cleanup, trimming shrubs, all that. My friend William removed that birch tree. I'll show you that in a different video. Maybe I'll put the link below. It's awesome. Just ripped out these arborvitaes. Customer wasn't too happy because they had them planted a few years ago and they were dying. Ripped those out quick. Trimming up all this back here and cleaning everything up. All the overgrowth and all the vines. I love, this is my favorite type of job, is where you can just get in and tackle it, and just transform it and clean it up. I like it for a specific reason. Well, let's just find out. I want to talk about knowing your worth. And I want to go back to my first year in the landscaping business. It was spring of 2012. And I got a call from a client. It was a referral. He referred his rich friend to me because I did really cheap work. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't even know my worth. And so I show up at this property. It looks like this old abandoned mansion. And there's like weeds up to here. Everything is filthy. The windows are dirty. We do window cleaning. We do landscape maintenance. And I'm so excited. My heart is pounding. And I was there just to do a quote for window cleaning. So I call up this client. He was a rich plastic surgeon and he wasn't there. And I'm walking around this huge house. It's like 8,000 square feet. It's like $1,000, $1,200 window cleaning job. I'm like, I'll do all your windows for like, I could save you some money. I'll do it for like $200. And he's on the phone. He's this Greek guy. He's like, do it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't send you an invoice yet. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So then I'm like, I do landscaping too. Like your whole property, like what's going on here? This place looks abandoned. Like I can pull the weeds, I can trim some stuff. How much? I'm like, I walk around the property. Now there's easily, I'm not getting you like 20 grand in work. Massive property, goes down to a forest. I'm just looking at the stuff around the house, right? I was scared out of my wits, just getting started. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I didn't know my worth. So I walk around, and I'm like, well, I can trim the bushes and pull some weeds for like $200. He goes, do it. I'm like, dude, I didn't even send you an invoice yet. What's going on here? But I was so excited, my heart was pounding because now I was getting work. When you're scared and your bills are due, when you have an eviction notice and you don't have anybody to help you. I didn't have the YouTube stuff back then like we do now, and I'm angry at that because all those years spent. But anyways, I show up to his property literally that Wednesday. He's like putting the pressure on me. So I'm so happy. We're trimming the bushes and pulling the weeds or cleaning the windows. And I literally wasn't even charging enough for taxes or insurance or anything like that. I was charging $15 an hour. So after that, I was like making like $5 an hour. And then I meet the guy. Like this guy's, I find out that over the next year that the guy's actually a billionaire. And he's standing over me. And I'm so happy giving him an invoice. And he looks at this little tiny weed out past the driveway, straight up by the mailbox. He goes, what the hell is that? I was like, oh, nothing. Like, and so I give him an invoice for $400. And he pulls out a fat wad of like 20 grand. He always had like 20 grand on him. And then his garage opens up and he's got a Bentley and a Ferrari. And now I'm like nervous because I grew up poor on welfare, like straight up. We lived in the hood. we didn't hire, I didn't even know this stuff existed, right? And he pulled out a stack and my heart started beating and he gives me like $300. I said, well, it was $400. He goes, what did you even do? You didn't even do anything. What's going on here? And now I had to like justify what I did and explain it to him, and I'm nervous. And what did I do? I took the $300 and I put it in my pocket and I left. I hopped in my piece of crap Blue Goose truck, the Blue Goose, and it had rust all over it. And it was barely running, and I went home shaking. And I went to another job and worked till dark and came home. And that happened again and again, but the guy kept loading me with so much work. He wanted more and more and more. There was these trees, I was like, some spruce trees. I was like, they're hanging low, man. I can trim the branches for you. There was literally 10 grand in tree work on this guy's property. He goes, how much? I'm like, well, let me look around. Do it. Just do it. Next thing you know, We're trimming the whole property. He wanted everything done, and there was so much work I had to hire somebody. I didn't know my worth. The craziest thing, one of my mentors and my best friends, I don't put him in a lot of my videos, his name is Scotty. Scotty, in his late 20s, built a multi-million-dollar construction company. He got into real estate, and he wanted more and more and more. He was kind of greedy. He was doing $2.3 million in his construction business and acquiring assets, and then he went to the restaurant business, and he trusted partners to, he didn't know anything about the restaurant business, but he needed more, and everything collapsed and fell apart. Everything went under. He ended up even getting audited by the IRS, and he ended up sleeping in the ghetto of downtown Detroit in the back of his Jeep with nothing, $1.4 million in debt. And how we became friends is a whole nother story, but he called me up wanting to work for me. And I was a scared kid running around, not knowing my worth. And he wanted like $15 an hour. I was like, dude, I can only pay you like 10 cash. He said, dude, I need at least 15. So now we're working side by side, and this guy who is a millionaire is working for me, and he's teaching me about business as I am literally scared out of my mind, not knowing my worth, working on this guy's property. And we're shoveling rocks one night, and he says to me, he goes, bro, we've been working till 8 and 9 p.m. till dark every single day. I need to go home and see my family. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? We got to get this job done. Like, in my head, if I worked more hours, I would make more money. I didn't understand thinking in terms of projects and thinking in terms of profitability. To me, it was hourly because I was still technician-minded, like an employee, not knowing anything about a business. So he goes, dude, you have to have, and that's the first rule of today, hours of operation. By implementing these simple little systems and structures into your business and building boundaries, you can build a healthier business. I said, I can't get off work at 6 p.m. So you know what I did? I let him off work at 6 p.m. and then I hired other guys for cash and I had them come out and work till dark. I was working 90 hours a week, literally coming home at night like a skeleton, just driving with bags under my eyes and getting in fights with my wife. Our marriage was on the rocks, and I didn't see a way out, because when something's so real to you and you're going through it, I mean, that's the reality. And I needed that client. That client kept giving me so much work. So I said, the only way to do this is I'm going to have to raise the price so we can get off work at 6. I was so scared, and I raised the prices 10% on all my clients, right? And then little by little, I was able to implement, we get off work at 6 o'clock. We leave the job site. That doesn't include paperwork or anything, but that simple structure of hours of operation. Oh my God, I went on Google and I'm no longer open up till midnight. I'm closed at 6. I'm closed on Sundays. This took a couple years. Hours of operation.
The spring cleanup's coming along nicely. Look at all that. All that was in the beds. Dump trailer's already getting full. Look at this. I'm thinking about buying a 14-footer. Let me know in the comments below. This one's only a 10-footer. Should have at least bought the 12, man.
Oh my God, I went on Google and I'm no longer open up till midnight. I'm closed at 6. I'm closed on Sundays. This took a couple years. Hours of operation are very important, because what happened was now my employees were showing up to work and they weren't burned out. They could actually function. We were pacing, right? So,
eat lunch real quick. So the whole front of this is almost done, and we got to go to the back now. I got to get this done by today. Already running behind schedule. I had to reschedule clients because of all the rain, but I'm fired up. I'm excited, and remember, you rock. Everything is gonna be okay. Don't be afraid to try new stuff. If you're looking to hire an employee, just give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, that's okay. Try again, and notice that you're probably better than you think you are. So give yourself a chance, and if you're not crushing it yet, keep going. You'll crush it. You got this. This is your year. All right, let's go work some more.
Building steps and doing construction. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trusting him. and he's like, how much did you charge this rich client, right? I'm like, like $1,200 for this whole job? He goes, are you kidding me? This is like $7,000 easy. How are you even making any money? I'm like, I'm not. I'm terrified, and I'm actually doing jobs on the weekends and on the side to make money to pay my bills while I'm working for this client for free. I didn't know my...
All right, I've been sitting in the truck all morning. I'm sick of it. I want to do some work, calling back clients, dealing with all types of stuff. it up. This looks decent. I'm gonna go back here and trim some stuff. That needs to be trimmed. Tops of that. Okay, let's trim.
And on the side to make money to pay my bills while I'm working for this client for free. I didn't know my worth. I didn't know my worth. It doesn't matter how hard you work or what you do, or you can run around in circles chasing your tail, but if you don't know your worth, it's never gonna happen. Nothing is gonna change. And I overheard one time that this client referred to me as a kid. And I really thought about that. It hurt me. I was mad. I was angry because there was truth in it. And I said, oh my God, I do. I perceive myself as a kid, and I act like a kid in his presence. And I started going to work on that and perceiving myself as a man, and a man of business who stands his ground. And it was a long, long time. But anyways, back to Scotty and I were digging. He's like, wait a second. You're only charging that much? Are you paying taxes? I'm like, taxes? No. I'm cashing checks into my personal account. I can't afford to pay taxes. He's like, dude, if you don't pay taxes, the IRS will take everything that you have, bro. Like, you don't understand. I'm like, I can't. I literally can't afford to pay. I would go into this like victim cycle because I didn't see a way out. He told me about the 30% rule, which is the next thing I want you to write down. He said, bro, this will make you or break you in business in ups and downs. In all times, 30% of all gross income gets set aside in a special business savings account specifically for taxes. That seemed impossible to me. But when he told me the nightmare story of what happened to him, this guy scared the crap out of me to the point where I think it actually hurt me, because I was, I had a friend who was a mentor who had recently just experienced everybody's business nightmare. It was a blessing in disguise. So I instantly raised the prices 30% on all clients, and the funniest thing happened. I only lost like a couple clients. Most of them didn't even flinch. I realized then, I started waking up that my prices were so low that I was like literally the crackhead in a pickup truck running around. I realized I was that guy. And what happened was I went out and I got legit immediately, backdated, paid the taxes, had a bunch of write-offs. It wasn't even that bad. And then ever since then, had the 30% rule implemented in my business. Now during tax time and quarterly taxes, you just write a check, you pay it, it's not even there. That's what it's there for, because it's a non-negotiable. You never get your shoulds, you only get your musts when it's a non-negotiable. So the next thing that I learned is, I'll say the client's name, but I won't say anything else. His name was, and one time we were standing out in this driveway. I'm like, dude, that watch is insane. I'm like, he goes, how much you think this watch cost? I'm like, I don't know, like $6,000. He's like, 500,000. I'm like, get out of here. He showed me the receipt. It was $500,000. I'm like, why would you spend 500 grand on the watch? He's like, because this is exclusive. You cannot get this watch. I was like, okay. So I'm out here working, pulling.
All right, this is almost done here. I'll give you a look at what it looks like. I mean, it was packed, filled with weeds and overgrowth and vines all over the place. So we got a whole dump trailer load filled on this property. See, all this is trimmed now. All this was all overgrown over where you couldn't see past the fence. The shrub, it was just crazy. He's pulling all these dandelions out. Everything's trimmed. That beech tree is trimmed up. There was dead wood all over and it was hanging low. Let's go look at the front yard. Look at all this dead wood. Oh yeah, we got all 5 of these shrubs removed, these arborvitaes. Up here, monster birch tree removed. It was huge. This whole bed, all the shrubs are trimmed. It was packed with leaves. It's all blown out. Looks like it needs some grass seed here. And look at all this debris. We're not even done yet. It's all nice and packed down. This job was $32.50. Remove a birch tree, grind the stump, trim a locust in the beech in the back, do a full spring cleanup. Well, not full, but clean out all the garden beds, trim the shrubs and all the overgrowth, and then take it all away. We If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what you think and what type of videos you want to see more of. And let's have some fun. I'm Keith Kalfas.